Hello again, I'm back, and look what I have here. It is a Sears catalog. It says Spring through Summer 1972. And for those of you who are not old enough to remember, Sears was once a big department store. You could call it the Amazon of its time, before the days of computers and the internet. I mean, computers have been around for a long time, but they didn't become standard until about the 90s, or probably about the mid to late 90s, that people started using the internet more and more. Email became a thing. Using email, that wasn't until about the 1990s. So before that time, a lot of people ordered their things through catalogs. And Sears, JCPenney's, and Montgomery Ward's, I'm really not that familiar with Montgomery Ward's. I know that they put out big, thick catalogs like this one. You see how thick that is? And this is the way that a lot of people shopped, especially those people that didn't have access to a mall. They didn't live near a mall. You know, you would shop in whatever stores in your town. Some towns didn't really have a lot of variety. And, you know, the only thing you could do really was to order by catalog. And you would fill out an order form and send it in. Sometimes I think you could call your orders in and give your credit card information over the phone, or you could fill out the order form and you could write your credit card information down on the form. I think I don't know when that started, but I know that I've seen some order forms where you could. I don't think that's really a smart idea to do that. I mean, we probably know better than that in this day and age, but you know, people probably did that at one time. Or you could send in a check, of course. But, you know, the downside was that you never really knew what they had in stock. And I remember once when I was a little girl, I wanted to order something from a catalog. And of course, my parents were not really that computer savvy, okay, because they didn't grow up with computers. And well, back then, you know, we were still getting catalogs. In fact, this was from a place called Spiegel. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Spiegel, but it was kind of like a Sears. I don't even know if Spiegel is still around. I know that's like a German name, but it was an American company as far as I know. And I wanted to order some clothing from Spiegel. So my father sent in a check. You know, we filled out the order form. We mailed the check in. And it took a long time to hear anything from them. Then finally they sent the money back to us and said that they didn't have the merchandise in stock anymore. So it was a big disappointment because, you know, sometimes things like that would happen. You know, so nowadays, most of the time, you know, when we go online, you know, they'll tell you what they have in stock and what's not in stock. Okay, so, you know, it was really cool to get these catalogs. This was kind of like looking at the internet. You know how you can browse online today. You can go to Macy's.com or Bloomingdale's or, you know, whatever, JCPenney, Walmart, whatever, and you can browse online and look at all the stuff. Well, back in the day, of course, they didn't have computers, so this is how you would browse. And this was very entertaining for people to look at. You know, I found it to be entertaining. My mom was not a huge fan of Sears or JCPenney's or Montgomery Ward. I mean, don't get me wrong, she loved to shop, she loved clothing, but I grew up in the South, so Belk was a big department store. We had a department store called Rich's, which I think was started in Atlanta. I'm not sure about that, but that was a big department store. I think they were bought out by Macy's. I don't think Rich's is around anymore. But Rich's and Belk did not put out catalogs like this. So we didn't really get catalogs like this. So whenever I would visit other people, like friends, other family members, I would get a chance to look at their catalogs. And it was very entertaining to look at all of these pictures, and there's just so much stuff. Okay, so that's enough small talk. Let's get down to business. This is what we're here for, is check out these groovy fashions. I mean, oh my God, look at that plaid suit. Could you get any more 1970s than that? Yellow and orange. Now, I love the 70s. I really do. Believe it or not, I love 1970s fashion from 1970 to 1979, and there's a huge difference in the styles, you know, from the early 1970s to the late 1970s. There's a big difference, but I love them all, but there's a few things that are ugly. Yes, I agree with that, and I don't want to offend anybody who might have worn this back in the day or who liked it back then. I'm not really old enough to remember this, but you know, I that's ugly. Okay, sorry. And there's a striped blazer. Um, you know, 70s fashion has. I remember it made like a comeback in the 1990s. I don't know if you guys know that, or some of you do. Bootleg pants were popular in the 1990s. You know, stacked heel, I don't know what you call it, like, you know, shoes with a heel, with a square toe. I mean, there's a bunch of different fashions. You know, there was like a repeat Woodstock in 1994, I think. You know, like Woodstock 2 or something. I don't know what you would call it. But so, you know, Generation X, most of them were the children of the, you know, the baby boomers. And I guess Gen Xers, you know, they like the styles of the 70s because that's what they grew up with when they were little, and that's what their parents wore. So, you know, there was a lot of nostalgia for the 70s back in the 1990s. And some of those styles came back into fashion, but of course they were updated and, you know, they were tweaked and to look more modern. Okay, let me just move on. That looks like pajamas to me. I can't say that I really like any of these fashions on these first two pages. The shoes are cute. Red, white, and blue. Okay, what does it say here? Wearing cool seersucker with new wide rib texture and more vibrant colors, and discover a great new look in casual wear that's now in high gear. Okay, I like seersucker, but I don't like any of those clothes on this page. You know, somebody said in response to another video I made where I was going through a JCPenney's catalog from 1976, she said that I was being a little bit too kind about 70s fashion. But, you know, I wasn't kidding. I do like 1970s fashions a lot, but I just don't like everything. Okay, I have to admit that some of the styles were ugly, but not all of them were. I like most of them. And here on this page, I mean, look at this outfit here, this nautical look. I mean, you could wear this today, practically. I don't know what it looks like with her standing up, but, you know, the nautical look is still very much in style. Crop pants are in style. And, you know, what they call it, boat neck t-shirts, you know, with a navy blue and white stripes. You can find this kind of thing today. I've seen similar style pants. These are wide leg pants, and look at the details there. They kind of look like high-waisted pants. You know, I remember low-waisted pants being a thing in the 1990s, and of course that continued into the 2000s. And I remember them sometimes being a little bit too low, especially for some people. I did not like the skinny legged pants from the late 2000s. I was never into that look. Okay, and there's a little like play suit for young women, of course. I mean, it's cute. You had to have a nice figure to wear that kind of thing. And this is like a beach cover-up. That's cute. I really like yellow, but yellow is not a good color for me. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, these are for the kiddos. And these are really cute. It's just little rompers. I mean, when you hear the word romper, you think of babies, but these are just play clothes for kids, and they kind of look like rompers, you know. This kind of stuff was in style in the 1970s. And I just think it's all adorable. It says wearing bib shortalls, they're called them shortalls, with coordinated knit tops. Okay, I'm not going to bother to read everything to you guys because that would just take too long and I'm not going to bore you. And I'm not going to go through every single page. I'm going to skim through some of these just to speed things up. I don't want to bore you. Of course, people have always loved tennis. These are tennis fashions from that time. Let's keep moving. Oh my gosh. Now, if you guys hear me make comments like, oh my gosh, you know, that means that I am, you know, probably don't like what I'm looking at, or I'm just kind of like astounded by how, you know, 1970s it is, how wild it is. Okay, so we've got bell bottom pants for guys. There's purple. You know, we have the primary colors here, blue and red. Some of the primary colors, we've got even green. You know, that's the thing about back then. You know, I noticed that they would, I mean, I know the colors are matching. You see he's wearing the purple pants, the purple sweater, but it seems like we experiment now more than ever, you know, with matching, you know, I mean, you know, using different color combinations, probably color combinations that they wouldn't have used back then, and sort of like matching patterns. Maybe using contrasting patterns. Okay. Okay, I mean, this is kind of cute. I remember skirts, and those have always kind of been around. They've been in style, gone out of style, then come back in style. You know, in fact, I don't think they've ever really gone out of style. I remember having a pair of skirts when I was a kid, and I can remember my older sisters and other relatives telling me, oh, I wore skirts, you know, back in the day. So they've always been around. And I love gingham. So this is a cute look here, you know. I'm not sure that I would wear these in this day and age, but it's cute. Okay, this is a look that I do not like from the 70s, you know, wearing a white skirt. I don't like that look, pleated white skirt. I'm not crazy about these styles either. The one in the middle is okay, the one on the far right is okay. I'm not crazy about the tunic. But, you know, I mentioned the 90s a few minutes ago, and I can remember something like tunics kind of coming back, making like a brief comeback. I remember seeing those in stores and seeing, you know, young ladies wearing those. Okay. When I say tunics, I mean, I guess that's the right term, the term that I'm looking for. Something like a sweater, almost like, you know, like Mrs. Brady wore the Brady Bunch. Remember how they used to wear those chain belts, too, around the waist? Okay, moving right along. I mean, look at this one here, for example, the peach or orange and white stripes and the white pants. I mean, you could get away with wearing that today. Maybe even the green. I like the gingham top. I mean, these are cute. You know, if I was a young woman or a teenage girl back in these days, I would have worn this stuff, of course. Okay. You know, some of these pages are kind of sticking together. Polo shirts. You know, one thing that surprises me is that they used black and white photography, you know, during this time. And when you think about it, you know, that really doesn't show the fashions off that well, because you can't see the colors, and it, you know, colors do make a difference. And I can't imagine them needing to save money. I don't get that. I mean, this is 1972. They had color photography. Okay, I mean, this is a cute look. But once again, I don't like that matchy, like the orange top, the orange pants, the whatever you call that, grape wine colored top, and the matching pants. For some reason, I don't like that. That's something I don't like. I don't care for the white belt too much, but I mean, I'm just judging it by today's standards, I guess. It's kind of cute. I wouldn't wear it today. Here's another thing. This looks like something somebody's mom or grandma would wear. Oh my gosh. No, I don't like those. I mean, I don't know. You know, if I were a young woman, maybe I'd wear something like that. Oh no. Oh my gosh, look at those pants. Oh my gosh, that's so 1970s. Now see what I mean? That's what I mean, kind of like by, I don't know, contrasting colors. They've got the green top and the blue and white striped pants. I mean, it's kind of unusual to see this combination back then, I think. You know, I like what they've done here, but that's just a little bit too wild for me. Okay, and here, I mean, that's cute. You know, I really like this, the denim pants here with the red shirt. I think that's cute. I don't know what that is on her pocket. I guess it's just a different fabric used for the pockets and for the belt loops. And look at the purse. Cute. And here we have more black and white photography. I'm sitting on the side of my bed here, but we have a little bit of natural sunlight left, and I prefer to use natural sunlight instead of using my overhead lights because it doesn't leave a glare. So hopefully you guys can see these well enough. Seems like the light is okay. Let's move on to, I wanted to comment on this, I'm sorry. I love this look from like the late 60s, early 70s, the looped braids. I think that is so cute. And I wouldn't wear that today, I'm too old, but I want to fix my daughter's hair like that one day, whenever. I'm into sewing, so if I sew her a retro outfit from this era, I would like to try to fix her hair like that one day. Uh-oh, I ripped a page, darn. Oh well, it happens. Okay, bathing suits from this era. You know, the bottoms always had more coverage back then. It's not until the early 80s that we started to see the bathing suits that were cut really high and high on the hip. So much so that they exposed the, well, you know, you guys have seen the movie, for example, I think it's Flashdance. I don't know, some other movies I can't think of, but that was just really stylish look, you know, with the leg warmers back in the 80s, early 80s. The movie Fame, I think that was before that style. What am I thinking? Yeah, you wanted to show off your hips back then, and you know, having that dent in the side of your hips. I mean, that was something that was coveted. Like, you wanted to have that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, in the 70s, you didn't see that style yet. The bottoms were still full coverage. Yes, they had two pieces, of course. Two pieces had been around for a while, probably since the 50s, or I don't know when they came out, 40s. But the bottoms were always full coverage. And, you know, the bottoms were lower. You know, they did show the belly button, but they still covered up the hips, as you can see. Okay, so I just thought I would mention that, because I know in the 80s it went really extreme. You know, the bathing suits were just extremely high cut. Okay, and there is a one piece, like a skirted, okay, well, bathing suit that looks like a dress, let's just say. Bathing suit with a skirt. Okay, these are cute styles. And some more, like, you know, sporty stuff, casual stuff for every day. Some dresses. Now we're getting into some dresses. Let's look at the collars here. Yep, got those exaggerated pointy collars. Oh my God, look at the pattern on that one. And that one. Beautiful bright colors. I mean, the photography is showing, you know, beautiful bright colors. Okay, I'm not too crazy about those. I like that look. The blue and the white. Oh my gosh, has that got a daisy trim on that? Yeah, it does. Yep. Okay. Okay, here we have some ponchos, and I know ponchos were very popular in the early 70s. I don't know when their popularity with Americans began, probably like in the late 1960s, I'm guessing. You know, that trend just carried on into the 1970s. But you did not see them around in the late 70s. So I think it's like a late 60s, early to mid 70s kind of thing. You know, they would come back in style later on. I think in the 1990s, like briefly, and then again in the 2000s, they were popular for a little while. I mean, they're never really gone out of style because they're a popular thing. You just didn't see them in the 80s and the, I don't know. They were definitely not around in the 1980s, that I know for sure, at least not here in North America. Okay, so here we have some handbags. Some of these don't look that drastically different than what we have today. I'm not crazy about those, especially the striped ones, because those make me think of somebody's grandma or aunt, Oh no, I do not like that. No. I don't mean to offend anyone. If you like it, that's okay. To each his or her own. What is that? Are those bell bottoms? Okay. It says Decron. So some kind of material. You don't hear about it that much today. There's some dresses. It's getting dark now. There was a little bit of good sunlight left, but now it's starting to get darker. So I'm going to speed this up. Okay, let's kind of let's get past these. So here, this is the order form like I was telling you about. Please stamp here. Free Sears specialized catalogs. Okay. Men's pants, bell bottoms. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Look at that underwear. What is that? Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Not everything about the 70s was great. I mean, the 70s was good. They had, gosh, some of the best movies and some of the best music came out in the 70s. And there was such a big variation. I mean, in the early 70s, it was like, I don't know, just kind of folksy rock songs, you know, just kind of that were more, I don't know, serious. Country, you know, kind of crossed over into pop music a little bit. You know, there were some country music stars that sort of crossed over. Olivia Newton-John started out as a country music singer, and then, you know, then she became a pop singer. But I'm just saying that there was just so much music. I mean, everything from like folksy songs, you know, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, to disco by the end of the 1970s that, you know, was very popular. Actually, disco started, I don't know when it actually began, like 75, probably about the mid 70s, but it didn't really become popular with mainstream Americans and the rest of the world until about, you know, 1976 or so, 77, somewhere around there. Okay, so these are boots for men. Shoes for little girls. When I was a child, I really wasn't aware that we had that much variety. I mean, I wore sandals, yes, in the summer. I wore sneakers, of course, to play for every day. And for dressy shoes, you know, I either had white or black. That was pretty much it. I wore black Mary Janes or white Mary Janes, depending on what season it was, you know. White was always for warm weather, like spring and summer. And black was for fall and winter. And that was pretty much it for a while. Okay, these kind of look like grandma's shoes. And once again, you know, these are in black and white. And I remember Converse being popular. They called them cat heads. You know, they were popular for a while, then they went out of style. And clogs, I remember when I was in school, people making fun of a teacher who wore clogs. It was a male teacher, and he rode a bicycle. I know this sounds terrible. We were little kids. I mean, I didn't make fun of him, but the other children did. They just thought clogs were so ugly. And I did too for a while. But now I like clogs. You know, I started liking clogs as an adult. Saddle shoes, I remember those. Those were popular, I think, starting in the 40s, probably. I know definitely by the 50s, but I think that it was a fad that started in the 40s. Those look like grandma shoes. So, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anyone. Loafers for guys. Look at those. Wow. I guess these are for young men. I mean, these are not that bad. Some of them are not that bad. Very trendy stuff. Now, those definitely look like granny shoes. You'd see somebody's grandma wearing those. Oh, look. Gladiator type sandals. Well, I wouldn't wear those, but the white ones and the brown ones are not that bad. But oh my gosh, look at those. And it appears that boots were a thing in the 70s, and this trend probably started in the 60s. If you guys remember that song, these boots were made for walking. I think that's from the late 60s, but I'm just saying that this is a fad that carried on into the 1970s, early 70s. Look at those. Wow. I mean, these are for younger women, of course, teenage girls. What are these, fabric? Looks like this is fabric. So they even sold fabric back then. And as I've already mentioned in another video I made where I'm looking through a JCPenney catalog, JCPenney also sold fabric back in the 70s. I'm into sewing, so I can appreciate this, but you won't see this anymore in Sears or JCPenney, probably never again, ever, ever, ever. So I'm really just looking at a little piece of history here, and you're gonna see in a few minutes that, you know, Sears truly was like the Amazon of its day. You're gonna see what I mean. I don't mean to leave anybody out, but you know, women and girl stuff is usually always first in catalogs like this. I know it's not fair, is it? But that's just the way it is. I guess because women are usually the ones that do this kind of shopping. Not always, but a lot of times it is. Women do the shopping for their husbands and for their sons. And women and girls just tend to be into this more. So this is stuff for girls. Back in 1972, girls' fashions. Look at the bikini. Cute. This looks like this is stuff for ballet. Leotards and tights. I was in ballet and tapping when I was a little girl. Of course, I can't do either one, but you know, that was just something that my mom signed me up for, that I did for a few years, just an extracurricular activity. I love this look from the 70s. I know not everybody does, but this kind of cutesy baby doll, gingham type of stuff, patchwork stuff, granny dresses. I just really love this look. This reminds me of the Brady Bunch. And I love the Brady Bunch. I mean, the show was okay. The acting and the stories were okay, but I really love watching it just for the nostalgia and looking at the outfits that the people wore back then. And the actors were all good looking. Actors and actresses, they're all good looking too. Look at that. Mushrooms were a thing in the 70s. I'm sure some of you know that. You've noticed maybe that mushrooms were like I don't know why. It was just like a popular theme that you would see like on, I don't know, from everything from like stationery to, you know, stuff for the kitchen, dish towels, kitchen canisters, everything. And there's like a patchwork dress there in the background. Marsha and Jan Brady. Oh, look, that's interesting. Look at the way that it's got a button there in the front, and it's finished with bias trim, it looks like. Bell-bottom pants for little girls. Oh, look at the strawberry in the shorts. Oh, I like that. I love gingham. And, you know, I love the peasant blouses and skirts and the maxi dresses from the 70s. I just really do. Bell bottoms, there's a tunic. I guess you would call that a tunic. That's what I was saying. You know, they kind of, some of these looks kind of made a comeback in the 1990s. Of course, they were updated and, you know, made to look more modern. I mean, they made a comeback in the 90s. I hope I said that right. Okay, some of these looks did, not all of them. Obviously, this is really 70s, and this has kind of made a comeback nowadays. If you notice that we'll see like bell sleeves on a lot of tops and dresses. And of course, you know, gingham's always been around. You didn't see much gingham in the 1980s, not that much. Maybe because they were sick of it from the 1970s, I don't know. But it's popular now. I love gingham, I just love it. I love it for men, I love it for children, I love it for women. Okay, you know, there's the kind of sleeves like I'm talking about. Like you'll see those on tops, but you don't see outfits exactly like this. I mean, this will probably never be in style again. This is very, 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 very vintage. I mean, that's a little bit much, but you know, if I was a young woman back then, I'd probably wear that. I guess this is supposed to look really kind of cutesy, almost kind of like baby doll, you know what I mean? All right, and stuff for boys is getting darker and darker, so I'm gonna try to get through this really quick because I don't want to be recording this with bad lighting. Bell bottoms for guys. I know you guys are probably groaning like, no thank you. There's a suit for young men, for boys. I may have to just turn the lights on to finish this. And oh my God. Oh my gosh, look at those pants and look at that. Oh my gosh. No, no, no. No, thank you. All right, let me turn the light on so I can finish this. You know, I just had to show this one here. Okay, see, I've got that overhead light on and now there's a glare and it makes it look a little bit yellowish, which is something I don't like. So that's why I like natural sunlight, but I just wanted to do this today. And I really love looking through this catalog, or these old catalogs. Oh my gosh, look at those bell-bottom pants. Oh my gosh, they're striped. Oh heck no. The nauticals. Yeah, right. Okay, let's see what else they have here. I guess I don't need to say anything about that. Yeah, that looks very 1970s. Okay. All right, let's get through here. Right now we are on the section here for the little boys. Like those were for older boys just a moment ago when I was looking through those. And you know, more striped bell bottoms, polos. Oh my gosh, look at that one. Look what he's wearing. Oh my gosh, you'll never see that again. Very, very 1970s. And these are too. Look at those white pockets. I mean, I mean, they're charming. These outfits are charming, a lot of them, in a nostalgic kind of way, but I don't mean any disrespect to anyone who wore these. I mean, I didn't wear these, obviously. And if you wore them and you thought they were cute, or your, you know, mother sewed you something that looks similar, I'm not trying to, you know, make fun. Not really. I think most people will agree with me, though. As somebody said, I'm actually a little bit too kind. Okay, as far as these 70s fashions are concerned, I'm a little bit too nice. Okay, that's really, oh my gosh. Look, he's even got red hair. Nothing against red hair. I love red hair. But he's got red hair and he's wearing an orange shirt and orange striped pants. Oh my Lord. and a belted sweater on top of that. Talk about high-waisted pants. See? Oh my gosh. Look at that. And just think, those kids probably thought that was so cool back then. What does it say? Winnie the Pooh fashions are special too. Heck yeah, they are. Look, is that Pooh? Can't tell, I'm trying to zoom in. Okay. Look, they got trench coats for little boy. All right, it's like Superfly, you know, from the movie Superfly. I love the 70s. I know I've already said that, but I'm just gonna say it again. You know, it may sound like I'm making jokes, but I really do love the 70s. Like I said, though, some of the stuff I would not wear. It's just a lot of fun looking at it. Look at that, those bell bottoms. And a peasant skirt. Well, I don't know if it's a peasant skirt, but I know it's a peasant blouse. It's finished with rickrack. Isn't that cute? Now that looks like something you would see in old movies when you see like people in jail that wear like striped clothes. That's what I think of when I see that. I'm sorry, but I don't like that. Out of all of these, you know, I like, you know, this better and the bell bottoms, but definitely not that striped outfit. So there's some more stuff for little boys. Oh, that, you know, navy blue and white's pretty cute. It's got a jacket there. That was probably really spiffy looking back in the day. Okay, oh my gosh, they're so cute. I like all of those. The only one I'm not crazy about is that straight one with the red belt, but I even like the yellow one, and that looks like Jan Brady style to me. It's a little patchwork one, isn't that cute? I love gingham. That's so cute to me, pretty. And I love that one too. And there's a little suit for little girls. Oh, those are pretty. That one's got an apron. I love yellow. I think I've already said this, but yellow is not a good color for me. So I never wear yellow. Not really, not unless it's, you know, like it's a print that has other colors in it besides yellow. Okay, oh gosh, bell bottoms. Rocking those bell bottoms. Shorts with, you know, contrasting pockets. Oh, those are little rompers. What does it say here? Pants dresses. And little short outfits. There's ponchos. Look at those patterns. Oh my goodness. All right, did I miss anything? Rugs, bean bags. Those were popular in the 70s. They're still popular, they're still around. Curtains, all kinds of things for the home. Tables and chairs. Casual. Oops. Cameras, electronics, vacuum cleaners. I think there's a saying, as much as some things change, some things still stay the same, but some things really don't change at all. And you know, I think that Sears used to sell guns. I know that Walmart used to sell guns. I know I saw guns in one catalog. It's probably like one from the 50s or something I saw on eBay, but maybe at some point they stopped selling them because I don't see them in this catalog. But I thought that was just interesting to note, something to note. You don't see it in this catalog, but apparently they did years ago. So I guess that's, what is that, like a trash can? Sorry, I'm not sure. Okay guys, well, I hope that you've enjoyed this little walk down memory lane, and I hope that maybe you've learned something that you didn't know. I post these for entertainment and for education and just for enjoyment. Electric adding machine. Sears intercom systems. So these are things for an office, like if you're self-employed and you had your own office, you could buy these things, and those are safes. Office fundamentals. Heavy duty standard electric adder. Okay, I guess that covers pretty much what I want to cover. Wow, look how much that pole cost back then. Over $600 and over $800, I guess, depending on what size you got. That's pretty big for an above ground pole. Do they even make above ground poles that big anymore? I don't know. Laundry tubs. Cabinet laundry tub. And it looks like this is pipes. Chainsaws. What are those things? I'm just curious. I don't know. Can't read it right now. Lawn fence. Oh, stuff for fishing. I think. Craftsman. Okay, those are circular saws. I'm sorry, but I know that I saw fishing poles in one Sears catalog. So there's like, what are those, boats or canoes, kayaks or something? Vest, paddles. So they had stuff for outdoors. And it wouldn't surprise me that they would have guns. You know, a lot of men were into hunting. And this is, I guess, stuff for camping. Yeah, camp cook set. Coolers. Sports. They had it all. They had it all. Tires. And it's sad what's happened, but, you know, I guess that's just life. I mean, that's just how life is. You know, some things just have to change. Things can't always stay the same. It's sad to see some of these places go out of business that we grew up with. You know, I never was a huge fan of Sears, but it made me sad to see it go. It's kind of sad when businesses fail, especially big ones that you thought at one time were all powerful and that they would always be around, and now they're no longer around. Things change. Sometimes for the better and sometimes not. So they had musical instruments too. Drums, guitars, banjos. Look of yesteryear. Warmly contemporary. So there's an older look, old-fashioned, and then there's contemporary style for that time. Okay, I think that's all for now. Let's just look at the bedding real quick. Okay, let's look at one more thing. Let's look at this bedding. Oh my goodness. Look at that bed skirt. Fun, huh? All right, guys. If you managed to make it through this entire video, I do appreciate you sticking around. I appreciate you for watching my video. Thank you.